What if one of the most dependable players on your roster suddenly became your biggest question mark? That's the reality facing the Atlanta Falcons right now, a decision that could quietly shape the future of this entire team. The name at the center of it all? Tyler Allgeier. A workhorse. A grinder. A player who doesn't talk much, he just produces. But as the trade deadline creeps closer, whispers are growing louder. The Chicago Bears want him. And for the first time since drafting him, Atlanta might actually be listening. For the Bears, this move makes perfect sense. They've been searching for that next David Montgomery type, a tough, relentless runner who can handle the dirty work between the tackles. And Allgeier? That's exactly who he is. He's the guy who fights through contact, who turns nothing into 4 yards, who never takes a play off. Chicago's general manager Ryan Poles has already rated Atlanta's depth chart before, bringing in guys like Drew Dalman and Grady Jarrett, and he knows exactly how much grit and toughness Allgeier brings to a locker room. But for Atlanta, this isn't a simple yes or no decision. Because Allgeier isn't just a backup, he's insurance. Behind Bijan Robinson's electric style, Allgeier is the steady heartbeat that keeps drives alive when defenses start to break down. He's the one who wears teams out in the fourth quarter, the one who gives Arthur Smith's offense balance when things get ugly. And now, the Falcons have to ask themselves, do they trade away their most reliable grinder for future picks or hold on to him for a playoff push that's still very much alive? This isn't just a football decision. It's a message about who the Falcons believe they are right now. Contenders building for today, or investors planning for tomorrow. Through 4 games, Tyler Allgeier has done everything right. He's carried the ball 43 times for 155 hard-earned yards, punched in 2 touchdowns, and once again proven that he's the kind of player who refuses to quit on a play or on his team. He's that rare back who doesn't need spotlight or praise, he just needs the football. Every carry feels like a statement, I belong here. But here's where the story gets complicated. At the end of the season, Allgeier hits free agency. And that's when the Falcons' biggest dilemma begins. Do they keep one of the most dangerous 1-2 punches in the NFL, Bijan Robinson's flash and Allgeier's fury, and hope they can make a deep run? Or do they trade him now, while his value is sky high, knowing that they might not be able to afford him when the offseason arrives? This is where timing becomes everything. Atlanta sits at 2-2, second place in the NFC South, staring down a brutal post-bye schedule against the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers, 2 heavyweight opponents that could easily shift the entire tone of their season. If the Falcons stumble, if they walk out of that stretch 2-4, the conversation changes overnight. Suddenly, Allgeier isn't just a trusted weapon, he becomes trade capital, one of the few valuable pieces they could flip for future assets. And if the Chicago Bears pick up the phone again? Atlanta would have no choice but to at least listen. Because while the Falcons' roster is bursting with young talent, from Michael Penix Jr. under center to an explosive group of playmakers, youth comes with a price. You can't pay everyone. Eventually, every young, rising team faces the same reality: loyalty costs money. Trading Allgeier now could feel like ripping off a bandage before it festers, painful, but smart. Instead of watching him walk for nothing in free agency, Atlanta could gain a mid-round pick, another building block for the Penix era. It's a cruel part of the NFL's truth: sometimes, the right decision doesn't feel right at all. There's always another side to every smart decision, and for Atlanta, this one cuts deep. The Falcons are built on the ground game. Their entire offensive identity, toughness, control, physicality, starts with the run. Bijan Robinson is the spark, the highlight reel, the player who makes defenders miss and fans rise to their feet. But behind every star is the player who keeps the system alive when things get hard. That's Tyler Allgeier. He's not flashy. He's not a headline. But he's the safety net. And trading him could strip Atlanta of something few teams ever have: security. Because let's be honest, injuries happen. The NFL isn't a league of if, it's a league of when. And if anything, knock on wood, were to happen to Bijan, the entire offense could suddenly find itself gasping for balance. Losing Allgeier would leave them one injury away from chaos. That's the tightrope Atlanta is walking. Do they trade a player who makes them deeper, tougher, and more balanced just to prepare for a future that might not even belong to the current regime? Inside that building, everyone feels the pressure. Coaches, staff, even veterans, they don't know who will still be in that locker room a year from now. That uncertainty makes decisions like this even harder. Do you push all your chips in now and chase a playoff run, or do you think long-term and start building toward tomorrow? If I were in their shoes, I'd play it smart, not desperate. You pick up the phone, you listen, you gauge interest. But you don't give Tyler Allgeier away. A player like that has value far beyond his stat line. Unless someone's offering a third-round pick or better, you keep him. You let him grind through the season beside Bijan, give your offense the security it needs, and if he walks in free agency, you let him go get that payday he's earned. Because sometimes the best move a franchise can make is showing patience when the rest of the league wants panic. There's one more layer to all of this, one that often gets lost in the emotion of football. Even if the Falcons don't trade Tyler Allgeier, they're not walking away empty-handed. If he hits free agency and signs elsewhere, Atlanta would likely receive a 5th or 6th round compensatory pick in return. That's the quiet safety net most fans forget about. It means this isn't an all-or-nothing decision. The Falcons have options, and that's exactly what makes this dilemma so complicated. If they find the right trade offer, they can capitalize on Allgeier's rising value now. If they don't, they keep one of the most dependable backs in football for the rest of the year, benefit from his production down the stretch, and still gain draft value next spring. It's the closest thing to a win-win in a business that rarely gives you one. But even then, the truth is cold. This is the NFL, where loyalty and logic rarely live in the same room. Tyler Allgeier has been everything you want in a player: consistent, humble, unselfish. He's carried this team through injury spells, bad weather, and bruising defenses. Yet in the end, every franchise must face the same question. When your team's future hangs in the balance, how much is sentiment really worth? For the Falcons, this decision isn't just about a trade, it's about identity. Are they a team fighting for every yard right now? Or a franchise quietly preparing for the next chapter of their rebuild? Because sooner or later, Atlanta has to choose between the heart of the locker room and the cold math of the business.